Turok Dinosaur Hunter has always been one of those games which I have wanted to review on this channel. Plans for this very video started way back in 2016, believe it or not. For whatever reason, I stalled. Since then, a lot of things have happened. In all of this time, Trump has become POTUS, and then he lost! Way, dickhead! At least the fucker didn't kill us all. I can go on and on about the horseshit which has taken place over the last few years, but is it really worth it? Turok Dinosaur Hunter, or Turok 1, was originally released on the Nintendo 64. You know how I feel about that console. It was home to such classic titles such as South Park Rally, Blues Brothers 2000, and of course, the famous one, Superman 64.
What a piece of shit.
Looking back, I don't even know how I coped with the controller, as I never had enough hands to play with this. Seriously, you need 3 hands! The console famously pioneered 3D games with groundbreaking entries such as Mario 64, Ocarina of Time, Banjo and GoldenEye. Turok 1 is in the same category as GoldenEye. It's a first-person shooter. This was one of my dad's favourite games. It was one of the grown-up games, you could say. Back in the late 90s and early 2000s, I was way too young to play this game. I think I did try it a couple of times though, from what I can vaguely remember from the top of my head. Many years later, after hearing great stories about this game from Dad, I thought it was high time I played this game. After playing this game on an emulator, I came to the conclusion that the game was pretty good, but there was something which reminded me of why my dad struggled with it, and why I struggled to get into it when I was so young. The controls were garbage. Also, there was way too much fog. Like, what the fuck is this? My guess was because of the hardware limitations of that era. All in all, a bit of fun to pass your time, and I'm sure it was fun when it was a new thing. Kind of like how many people are going to find PS5 and Xbox Series X1 360 Bravo-0 S1X Xbox pretty fun during the first few months of their lifespan, because it's brand new. What lets Turok down is the outdated controls. God, they were bad. And while I'm at it, the same goes for GoldenEye. Controversial opinion. The first-person genre still wasn't perfected in my eyes until I'd say around the time of when Halo Combat Evolved came out, and that was 2001. Here it's still taking baby steps. This was like Doom, but with dinosaurs. And then, of course, came the news I didn't see coming. Turok 1 got a re-release on PC and then on Xbox One. I didn't own an Xbox One, still don't for that matter, but that's still really cool. At the time, I wasn't even aware that it was on PC. It was only later on I found out, oh shit, this actually came out on PC. Since then, I've seen that the graphics and everything got cleaned up without being too overdone. Say like 13. The new version just looks shit. The old one looks better. How the hell is that even possible? Also, the controls got spruced up. This is a sort of game which feels like it was made for the Xbox controller. Then things got even better. Turok 1 got a re-release on the Nintendo Switch. So in essence, the series went full circle. It spent many years not being on a Nintendo console, and now it's back where it started. This was an instant buy for me. From here, all of my complaints vanished. The bad controls, gone. Gyro aiming became an option, and it works quite well. And I'm not really the type of guy who's really into the motion controls and all of that. So that for me is a huge plus, actually. The fog level was turned down, and you can really see it. You even had the option to switch between the music of the original N64 release and the music of the newer release. I opted for the old school, of course. The music I always loved. It makes you feel like you're in a jungle fighting dinosaurs and whoever the fuck these guys are. And that brings me to the elephant in the room. What the fuck is this game, or any of the Turok games for that matter, even about? Well, you're a time-travelling Native American. You encounter dinosaurs, aliens, and a guy called the Campaigner who is trying to fuck everything up. Yeah, I'll be honest, the story is not the best selling point of this game. But I'll tell you what is though, the gameplay. Walking through the jungle never felt as good as before, and nothing rings more true with the Nintendo Switch port. The upscale graphics look ace. I finally feel like I can progress through this game, and better yet, I can find so much more replay value with this now. Gunning down the goons feels so good. Hearing the over-exaggerated scream and the blood spilling out of their neck. Yep, this is for me. When you die, which does happen to me occasionally, especially when I fall down a bottomless pit, I love when I come back to life. And Turok says,
I am Turok!
I think this is the version of the game that my dad remembers playing. He had a go and he said that the controls were way better than what he remembered. Unlike many FPS, you can carry more than 2 items. Using shoulder buttons, you can scroll through the many weapons that you pick up through the quest. I love all of the weapons in this, even the knife, which comes in very useful, especially for killing bugs in caves. God, I hate those fucking bugs. There's also a lot of exploring to do here. I never felt at any point that this was such a linear experience. It's not like it is in Call of Duty when you go from A to B and then job done. You really are in a lost world here. There's a shitload of cheats to unlock, and that alone creates many more hours of playtime. I'd say that overall it takes up to 10 hours to beat this game, roughly in one playthrough, but you can come back for more. So much more. Turok Dinosaur Hunter has got a new release of life on PC, Xbox and Switch. I can only wonder when a new game gets made for this series, because honestly, I think we're due for one. And before anyone says, I know that Escape from Lost Valley exists, but that looks like a shitty rip-off which bears zero resemblance to the other games in this series. If you haven't played this, I'd say it's one of those classic first-person shooters which benefits heavily on modern consoles, and it works even better than before. One of my favourite games to come out for the Nintendo Switch. Once again, this is how you do a port.